Right? Recent revelations about a secret Pentagon study of UFOs raise many questions, including this one. Do government scientists actually have a piece of a flying saucer? According to a New York Times story, scientists right here in southern Nevada have had a chance to study what is known as a mystery piece of metal.
Company founder Robert Bigelow built special secure facilities inside his plant to house the program, its files, and according to news reports, a piece of unknown material, reportedly a compound with special properties. Some who read the story speculated that the material must contain an unknown element. Not true, say those who worked on the program, but multiple sources have confirmed to us there was a weird piece of something at the Bigelow plant. Physicist Dr. Hal Puthoff was one of the chief scientists for the Bass study. He confirmed last month that he had a look at, quote, unusual material that was very complex. Puthoff implied it was engineered by unknown means, layered, he says, in ways that produced unusual characteristics.
At least this unit of the Pentagon, they have, as we reported in the paper, some material from these objects that is being studied so that scientists can try to figure out what accounts for their amazing properties, this technology, these objects, whatever they are. So they have made some progress.
What type of material?
They don't know. They're studying it, but it's some kind of compound that they don't recognize.
In 2009, Reid tried to get the Pentagon to turn ATIP into a special access program, a more classified operation, in part because he wanted to connect with other secret programs that may or may not have hard evidence of UFOs, including materials or technology recovered from crash sites.
One reason I did that is there's always this rumor, some people say that there are some public corporations that have materials that we should look at. Now, I wanted to make sure that that was valid or not valid, but I couldn't get, they wouldn't, Defense Department wouldn't approve.
We spoke to a government employee who has worked on this issue who said that the U.S. government has wreckage from one of these aircraft. Do you know anything about that?
We don't know, but that's one of the 4 questions that we are asking. Is there evidence being held somewhere? Not to get too spooky once again, but if there is evidence, right, I believe it's important for people, specifically in my position as the ranking member of Terrorism and Counterintelligence, we need to know what this is.
Possible. We spoke to a government official recently who said the U.S. government had wreckage from a UFO in a facility on an Air Force base. Are you familiar with that?
I haven't heard that, no. I haven't heard that. It has not been within government, has not been a big thing, but I've seen it. I've seen it on your show, but I've seen it. I don't assume it's correct, but, you know, I have an open mind, Tucker.
No, you do, Mr. President. Thank you for that.
Nowadays, you can believe anything, right?
In fact, a company was hired to modify buildings in Las Vegas to store metal alloys and other materials that were reportedly from sites where these unexplained events happened. I want to know where it's coming from, and I want a tour of this warehouse to see these metal alloys.
Do you believe, based on your decade of serving in the U.S. government on this question, that the U.S. government has in its possession any material from one of these aircrafts?
I do, yes.
All right. Well, we have a lot more to find out, and I'm glad, very glad that you came on our show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
What was the question?
Does the U.S. government have material?
And what was your answer?
Yes.
And I have heard this from someone who I think is knowledgeable on the subject, that there is physical evidence that the U.S. government is holding that, you know, would tell us a lot more about what these objects are.
Physical evidence, wreckage.
That is correct.
Who was that?
It's you know, a well-known, someone who worked on this within the government for many years who would know. And I asked point blank, is there physical evidence of the existence of these objects, these aircraft, whatever they are? And he said, yes, there is.
Wreckage in a hangar.
Wreckage.